So here it is. The best tempered glass screen protector for any iPhone is going to be the Nano Armor from FlowLab. Why? Because the FlowLab Nano Armor is decently priced and the quality of the screen protector is top notch. It blows ZAGG out of the water and is comparable to the Belkin Invisiglass Ultra screen protector that you get at the Apple Store, but at half the price. Now the only thing you won't get with the FlowLab Nano Armor when compared to the Belkin product screen protector that you get at Apple is the smoke and mirror show that comes along with each install. But that's really not going to matter because FlowLab gives you everything you need to install your screen protector well. And the craziest thing that I learned over the last while about screen protectors is that installation tools like tiny microfiber cloths, they actually matter. Need all the details? Keep watching. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've been wanting to do this video for the longest time. The tipping point for me actually occurred a couple of months ago when I got a ton of review requests by companies claiming to have the best screen protector. Every one of these companies would send me a video of somebody bending it, or definitely of somebody lightly cutting paper on top of the glass. What pushed me over the edge was when I asked for more details, most of them said no. They said to trust them. They said that other reviewers don't ask for these details, why are you asking for them? And the cherry on top of this marketing fluff crab cake or charade, or whatever you want to call it, is that they would send me to another puff piece review and ask me to make a video version of it. That set me off. But not in a Les Grossman style rage, but in a silent rage, more akin to, telling your parents that your first girlfriend is not Asian. So why am I recommending the products by FlowLab? First of all, they make great products. For example, here's one of their newest 3D edge-to-edge screen protectors. The edges of every other 3D screen protector I've used usually shatters after you bend it, but with the FlowLab product, it doesn't, which means edge drops won't be as bad, and if the screen protector does crack, it won't be as annoying to clean up. Don't believe that this happens? Well, here's a cacophony of 3D edge screen protectors getting destroyed. This is terrible. Now, second of all, FlowLab answered all my questions. They didn't try to fool me about the quality of their product. They knew exactly what and where their products act in terms of the spectrum of screen protectors. Honestly, it was very refreshing to have those types of honest conversations with iPhone accessory manufacturers. It's very far and few between that actually happens. But at the end of the day, here's a question you need to ask yourself. Is it worth spending a bit more money on your screen protector? Looking at these two panes of glass side by side, you think they were exactly the same, but one is actually better than the other. So here's what I'm going to do for the rest of the video. I'm going to share with you everything I know about screen protectors at this moment. If I find out anything new, I'll include it into the pinned comment, the first comment in this video, so that the next time you decide to buy a screen protector, you're buying it because of its good quality, not because you've been bamboozled by marketing fluff. So in the next few minutes, I am going to break down what a screen protector is actually made of, the different layers. I'm going to talk about the glue. I'm going to talk about the different types of glass that go into screen protectors. I'm going to tell you why you should really pay attention to installation tools, explain the difference between 2.5D, 3D case friendly, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D. I'm also going to talk about the different types of oleophobic coating. I'm also going to talk about how the oleophobic coating gets put on. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about clarity, which is something I don't usually talk about when it comes to screen protectors. Now, once we go through all of that, I think you'll understand why certain glass screen protectors cost so much and why you should stay away from the cheaper ones. So let's get started with the different layers that make up a screen protector. So a screen protector is actually made up usually from 5 layers. The first layer, the one closest to your finger, is going to be the oleophobic coating. This coating minimizes face grease smearing, but it also provides you with the supposed 9H hardness on your device. The second layer is the actual glass, and there's several different types of glass, which I'll cover in a bit. Third layer is an optical clear adhesive that allows the glass to stick to the fourth layer, which is just a piece of clear plastic. The last layer is a glue that actually sticks the screen protector to your device. Now, this adhesive is actually more important than you think, which I'll cover in the next section. So let's talk about the glue, which is the most intimate part of the screen protector. For your iPhone, that is, because, you know, the glass and the iPhone screen, they smush together like... Now, does anybody remember seeing halos on their screen protectors like years ago when they went and bought a $1 one? Now, halos occur when the adhesive isn't of good quality or when there isn't enough of it. Now, I'm guessing that you haven't given much thought to the amount of adhesive, but if you've ever used a cheap screen protector that has bubbles that never went away, that's because there wasn't enough of the adhesive, there wasn't enough glue. Now, higher quality 2.5D screen protectors have at least 0.18 millimeter of adhesive, whereas in cheaper versions will have around 0.12, so less glue, cheaper. Now, when it comes to 3D edge-to-edge screen protectors, they have more glue at 0.25 millimeters. Why? Because it needs the extra glue to ensure that the screen protector sticks to the slight curve of the iPhone's edge. Now, the thickness of this adhesive is also going to play a part in terms of impact protection. The more glue, the more impact it's going to absorb. And again, like anything else, the more material you put into product, the more expensive it becomes. Now, a couple of side notes. The first is that when a company says super fast install, they are marketing the fact that their glue is crap. For side note number 2, the more adhesive you have, the slower bubbles disappear, which is why some products tell you to wait 24 hours before you lose your mind over the tiny bubbles. And for the last side note, cheaper screen protectors will be a little more susceptible to dust during the install, as the thin layer of glue won't hide your install fails as well. This is the cheapest screen protector I could find on Amazon. It's about $2.50 per unit Canadian dollars, so that's about $1.80 per US dollars. And there's so many tiny particles trapped under my screen protector, despite the fact that I installed it the same way I have done for every other glass screen protector for the last few years. So with the glue out of the way, let's talk about the different types of glass. In general, there's 3 levels of glass quality. The bottom level is basically really cheap soda-lime glass that is poorly manufactured or poorly tempered. Now, mid-grade glass is basically regular soda-lime glass, which is what 99% of the world's glass is made from, and it's just tempered. I'm going to put ZAGG's Invisible Shield products at this level. This is kind of where the JetTech and ESR products sit as well from my perspective. Now, the high-grade stuff is made from aluminosilicate, and it's double tempered using chemicals. Full lab products are in this category, as well as the Belkin Invisible Shield glass. Now, when it comes to crap glass, yes, crap glass, it's really hard to quantify for me anyways where it comes from. I just basically think about it as the equivalent to the quality of food that goes into the $5 large pizza at your local convenience store. Like, everything about that pizza is just terrible. I've only got 2 pieces of terrible glass left, with the first one being the screen protector on my iPhone 7, where I have no idea where I got it from, and the remnants of the MIME screen protectors I reviewed years ago. Now, from my perspective, any decently tempered glass should not break under the pressure of your fingernails. If it does, well, you've been bamboozled. Now, when it comes to mid-grade, you know, just normal tempered glass, at this level, the most popular provider of screen protector glass is AGC and NSG, which are both Japanese companies. Now, AGC is the new name for the Asahi glass company. If it says Asahi, it's going to sound very fancy, but remember, it's most likely mid-level glass. It's like saying the brand Nissan. You know, there's different grades of cars, like you got the Cube, and then you've got like the GTR. Now, oddly enough, I haven't seen many products boast that they use Nippon glass. I guess it just doesn't sound as fancy, like Nippon, Asahi, Nippon, Asahi, Nippon, Asahi, Nippon, Nippon, Asahi. I don't know. Now, tempered glass is made by heating normal soda-lime glass to 620 degrees and then cooling it down quickly. Now, the cheap stuff gets tempered for about 2 hours, and then the more expensive stuff gets tempered at 4, which means it's going to be stronger. So when it comes to more expensive screen protectors, there's a good chance that the manufacturer's trying to recuperate the cost of the fact that it's taken twice as much energy to protect or to produce that piece of glass. Now, can the average person tell the difference between an average tempered screen protector and the next grade up in terms of strength? Most likely not. I will admit that my testing method for my screen protector strength for the last few years has actually been flawed, I found out. Apparently, the standard way is to actually test the strength of the glass by itself on a hard surface and a metal ball. I've been doing on a soft surface, so this is going to be fun. Revamp coming my way. Now, premium glass is made from aluminosilicate glass. Some of the market fluff will be alkali aluminosilicate glass, but that stuff is just incredibly strong and is made stronger by soaking it in chemicals, more chemicals actually. This glass forms the basis for products like Gorilla Glass, you know, stuff by Shot, Dragon Trail, as well as Panda Glass. Now, this glass technically has superior impact and scratch resistance, which is why smartphone manufacturers use it for their touchscreens. Now, can the average person tell the difference between a normal screen protector and an aluminosilicate one? Probably not, but the easiest way to tell is to look at the edge of the screen protector. Aluminosilicate glass has a yellower edge, whereas everything else has kind of a blue-green edge. Now, from my perspective, the standout feature of this really expensive stuff like the Belkin Corning 2 Invisible Shield Ultra and Yolo's Panda Glass is the fact that the product can be much thinner, so it's not as noticeable when you're gesturing on your iPhone. The last observation I have about the aluminosilicate glass is that nobody really uses them in 3D edge-to-edge screen protectors, and I'm just guessing it's just way too expensive to make them, because at the end of the day, it's still just kind of glass. Does that really matter? You basically get an unmeasurable amount of extra protection for a few extra bucks. Your Belkin Invisible Glass at Apple Store runs close to $50. You could drop it on a bunch of rocks and, well, you just wasted $50. You could do the same drop with the FlowLab Nano Armor at half the price, drop it a bunch of rocks, still gonna break, and, well, at the end of the day, it's gonna be $20, $30 cheaper. So when it comes to the type of glass that FlowLab uses, they use a aluminosilicate chemically strengthened piece of glass, but it's not Corning, and it's not, I don't think it's Panda either, but it is at that level. So it might not be a name brand type of glass, but you're still getting that greatly improved impact strength or impact protection with the Nano Armor. Anyways, let's talk about installation tools. For the longest time, I did not give a hoot about the installation tools, but the quality does actually matter. And from my perspective, it's going to be the difference between cleaning a cut on your finger with hydrogen peroxide, which you're supposed to do, I think, or the puddle water outside your house after it rains. Now, the bare minimum for installation tools for the average screen protectors in 2019 is a set of wipes, a microfiber cloth, and some dust stickers. That's the bare minimum. If your screen protector package only has glass, you've been bamboozled. Treat that screen protector like gas station sushi that's on sale. Don't go near it. All right, let's start with the wet wipe. In general, we know, I hope that we know that the best way to clean your screen is either water or water with a mild soap. Anything else is generally not a good idea because it will strip the coating off of whatever you're cleaning. Now, despite that general knowledge, I've seen a lot of companies provide alcohol wipes, which will strip some of your oleophobic coating from your device when you wipe it down. In addition to stripping, the alcohol wipe usually leaves wet marks, which means you have to clean it using the microfiber cloth. Now, premium manufacturers will include a dry wipe, which is only slightly moist and doesn't leave any streaks after you clean the surface of your device. These wipes are designed to be used with your electronic devices and not with your veins. Next up is the microfiber cloth. Good cloths absorb water easily. Poor cloths just push the water around, and that's a bad thing since you want the microfiber cloth to collect all the grease and dust particles from your screen before you put your screen protector on it. Onto the dust stickers. And this isn't dust stickers, just a piece of plastic I found. For the longest time, I thought the blue stickers were just awful because they're thin and they're cheap and I couldn't use them more than once. But I learned over the last few months that these blue stickers are actually pretty good because the adhesive is very thin and they're statically charged, which aids in dust removal. Now, I've used some dust stickers that leave a bit of adhesive on the screen, which means you have to go through the cycle wiping it down with a really cheap alcohol wipe and then trying to remove the streaks using a non-absorbent microfiber cloth, only to use the dust stickers again because the microfiber cloth didn't do its job. And at the end of all this, you realize that you're in a vicious cycle where all you're doing is just stripping the oleophobic coating off your iPhone. The last thing I'll talk about are the actual install frames and tools. Now, when the bezel-less iPhones like the iPhone X first came out, not many companies packaged their screen protectors with an install frame. Some companies even include an easy-to-use install package frame thing like Spigen. But if the product doesn't include an install frame and they claim to be of high quality, don't get it. I've gotten pretty good at installing screen protectors without a frame, but that's literally after years and years and years and years and years of practice. With the FlowLab products, you get a frame, a dry wipe made for electronics, a static dust remover, the blue one, and a decent microfiber cloth. So everything you need to install your screen protector well, you get. So let's talk about the difference between all the different Ds, like 2.5Ds and 3Ds. Now it's pretty evident between the two kinds of screen protectors when you're looking at the product side by side. 2.5D screen protectors won't cover all the glass, whereas the 3D screen protector might. But did you know that the edges of these screen protectors are created differently? With 2.5D screen protectors, the edge is formed by just basically sanding or grinding it down. On a 3D screen protector, the edge is formed by actually bending the glass. This hot bending process is much more involved, and if you're wondering why 3D edge screen protectors have a black edge to them, it's because this bending and curving process results in imperfections in the glass, so that black line is there to make it look nice. It's not a design feature, it's to hide all the imperfections. Now, which one is going to be cheaper to make? Well, it's going to be the 2.5D screen protector, because apparently you could drill thousands at a time. Just 3D screen protectors aren't as easy to make as, well, they're made at a slower rate, and because of all the bending, the defect rate is going to be much higher, which is why 3D screen protectors generally will be more expensive. So which one should you choose, A or B, 2.5D or 3D screen protectors? Well, it really depends on your preference. I'll say if you're running an iPhone XS Max or a XS, 2.5D screen protectors do not offer you as much protection, as will leave more of your iPhone exposed, which again isn't a big deal for the big deal for the XS Max, but if you're running a XR, don't even think about the 2.5D screen protectors. Go with the 3D edge to edge, because your iPhone is almost, I would say, 30-40% more exposed than the iPhone XS. And from my last screen protector review, I don't remember which one it was, but I remember my iPhone XR just getting destroyed, because bad drops still really damaged the screen outside the screen protector. So how about the 5D, the 6D, the 7D, the 10D glass? All those Ds, the dimensions or degrees or whatever you want to abbreviate that letter D for, it's just marketing gimmicks. If 3D covers your entire screen and follows the curvature of your iPhone, wouldn't 10D be kind of this extra bump that you have to go through? I don't know. Regardless, let's talk about face grease. When it comes to oleophobic coating, it's generally applied in two ways. First is by spraying it, and the second one is to have it statically applied. Now, which one sounds more expensive? It's the spray coatings might last a few months. The expensive stuff, maybe 6 from my perspective. Will you notice when the coating's gone? Most likely not, unless you've documented your face grease in a documentable manner on your iPhone screen after you installed it and was able to compare it to the same amount of face grease 6 months later. Now, if you really want to see the difference, grab a water dropper and leave some water droplets on your screen. For the good stuff, the water droplets will bunch up a bit better, whereas the cheap stuff, like the water droplets, will be much flatter. Now, as I've said before, this stuff gets worn out over time. The only difference in your purchasing decision is that one will last longer than the other. But here's something that I've been wrong for the longest time, is that the 9H hardness doesn't actually come from the glass, it comes from the coating. Not the glass, it comes from the coating, not the glass. The tempering of the glass prevents cracking under impact, whereas in the coating is what prevents scratches. So as the coating goes away, your screen protector's gonna get scratched because that coating isn't there anymore. What? All right, let's talk about clarity. Now, if you go to Amazon, you'll see products that claim to be like 99.9% clear, which is incredibly unlikely. Why? Because the glass by itself might be that clear, but when you start layering it with coatings, a couple layers of glue and a piece of plastic, that clarity falls down to 92, 93%. I've seen others claim to be 94%. Generally, when it comes to the clarity of your iPhone screen, the more layers you have over that glass, the less clear it's going to be. Now, is 92% noticeable than 100% from my perspective, from my general usage over years and years of using iPhone and screen protectors? The answer is no. So if this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, I do encourage you to actually use my links to buy the stuff because this video is not sponsored and I've spent a pile of time and money on it. Like, it takes a lot of effort, especially this one. This one just took so much effort, mostly because if you guys have been with me long enough, the only other screen protector that I went out of my way to recommend was the one by Cinder. And this was back in the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6s days. I don't think that company exists anymore. And they were the ones who, they were the first company that showed me a Corning-based screen protector, and it was just awesome. But then they got into a trademark fight or a patent fight, and they couldn't use the Corning label anymore, and I don't actually think they recovered from that. That is why I've been so hesitant in producing this video. So if you do appreciate what I've done and what I've shared with you, do buy all your stuff through my links. It doesn't have to be the thing that you're looking for or that I link for. As long as you get to Amazon using my links, whatever you buy, I get credit for. Technically, it shouldn't cost you any more money, but some of you have pointed out that, you know, I have no control over the third-party resellers of certain products, and so it's my fault that it costs more, which it isn't. But I don't know why those people comment things like that, because it just... Anyways, that's all I got. Questions, comments, leave them down there. Monty, okay, let's go. Slow mover. And the last one is going to be this panda glass. Please hammer louder. So maybe I can use a glass shard to cut the sticker or the tape. I'm being resourceful here. And possibly dumb. Still looks so weird. And is comparable to the Belkin Invisiglass Ultra Screen Protector that you would get at the stupid thing. Doesn't wanna. Oh, god damn. God. I remember this. This is such a pain in the ass. The packaging, trying to be all fancy and stuff. It's just a piece of glass. Get over yourselves. Actually, they did get over themselves. They're not in business anymore, so I think it's just the one piece. Oh no, right. This is bottom. Top. There's no adhesive on the actual. Oh no, there is. That's what I screwed up in the first time I reviewed this. Because they don't tell you that there's this piece on that adhesive. So, ooh, top is really sticky. So let's talk about the most wrong eye pump. Oh, that's so stiff. Does glass get old? Oh, this is terrible. It's most likely going to be mid-level glass, mild glass, mid-level glass. Literally, it was quiet when I came out. The wind started picking up. Now there's an airplane, there's a truck crossing. In about 13 seconds, I'm expecting a train to come by. Such a kick in the nuts. I wonder if you know. Tokyo Drift. The song is just mildly addicting, but I can't remember the words. That looks like the adhesive. Oh, wow. So this is... Oh, there we go. Breaking glass is terrible. Oh, this one. The top and bottom parts are so sticky. And I'm not wearing gloves on my left hand, which means I'm being a fool. I wonder if you know. The last thing I'll talk about are the actual install frames and tools when when Jeff Bezos' iPhones came out. The last thing I'll talk about the actual... Oh, instant coffee is terrible.